Sure. Well, as a team as itself, there's nothing really special. Most of what we focus on is just being positive, a lot of communication. We have a lot of fun together. We'll play, free for all stuff when we get warmed up. We'll do some crazy custom game modes and stuff after matches, sort of talk things out. So we have little traditions like that. But yeah, generally speaking, we're a fairly standard team.
Awesome stuff. What are you looking for to get out of the Overwatch Watchers Brawl?
Definitely practice in a pressure environment. Obviously, in scrims, right, some of the players can be a little bit more relaxed if they lose. Whereas when they go into a tournament, nerves can get to their head. They might not perform as well. So just need to practice under pressure. It's probably the biggest reason why we're here.
So as your team's been working through it, what improvement are you happiest about them, and what would you like to see them continue to work on?
Ooh, that's a tough question. All right, I would say the thing we've improved on most since I joined the team has probably been communication when it comes to cooldowns. So not necessarily even just ult combos, but communications when it comes to bubbles, amps, when you have fire strike, things along those lines. I just like top players talking to each other a lot more about what they're doing. What we'd like to see in the future, that's another good question. Obviously, continuing the work that we've done now. In the future, I think we'd like to, once the meta changes, is get to working on our dive mechanics. Because once Brig PTR nerfs hit live, we might see a return to dive. So I think that'll be our next big challenge if dive becomes meta.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. We're looking forward to see all three play tonight. So good luck to you and your team, as well as to ZONK. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So that was Tricky, one of the coaches from OWB2, and they have just given us the kick-off, so we are ready to get rocking on Busan. Callisti.
All right, so we are getting ready on Busan here. So we've definitely, it's been definitely one of my favorite maps to watch here in this tournament. Now we are going to actually no, we've seen a whole lot of like goats. We've seen a whole lot of like melee kind of like Reaper style short range compositions. I always keep thinking like, oh, you'll see dive and snipers, but it just seems to have not been meta.
Yeah, the crazy Reaper plays that were coming out, as well as just and I'm loving this, oh goodness, no, what do we see? The Reinhardt play, the Diva play, we got to see some Mecha Bay last night, and the way the teams were taking advantage of their ult usage, and Reaper really almost the star of the show there, but not counting out some really solid support work, especially with some sick anti-nades getting lobbed around.
Absolutely. The support play coming out of these high tier Annas, definitely something to be keeping an eye on. And on that note, guys, make sure that throughout this tournament, you're looking out for your MVP. We're going to be setting up that poll on the bottom Twitch panel as usual.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure to let your voice be heard. Make sure that your favorite team member has your vote. Grab that panel underneath the stream as we're going. We are going to take a little bit of a time here to get going. One of the members of ZONK is having some technical difficulties, which, with a live stream, you're going to encounter some kind of thing as we go along.
Definitely. It's not the first time it'll happen, certainly not the last. The technical problems sometimes with Overwatch just always come at the worst possible time. Hopefully we won't see anything further and it'll just be smooth sailing from here.
Now, taking a look at also Busan and going on throughout the tournament, this is the first tournament that I've ever been a part of, even either as a player or on the production team, that gets to have hero bans.
Definitely. Now, the hero ban system, really, we have been seeing some interesting shifts that come through it. Now, the loser of each round does get to ban the opposing team's hero, and the winner gets to choose the map as well. So then we have been seeing some interesting bans on mostly tanks, actually. You'd think it would go on to maybe some signature DPS plays, but with the amount of flexibility that we've seen out of the contending teams throughout this tournament, it seems like hitting them right in the core is the way to go.
Yeah, and the hero bans get that, they get that give the losing team a little leg up and saying, hey, maybe there was a super dominant hero, let's get rid of them. But what we've been seeing most far is that it forces the opposing team to really drastically change their strategy. But ultimately, the core gameplay mechanics still remain the same. If they still have access to, say, a Reinhardt and a Zarya, or the Zarya with other combos, they can still coalesce around that particular unit and move forward. I wonder if we're going to see even more hero bans in the future.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure that we will. But as to what these teams will do, we are going to have to find out. I am definitely interested to see who the star players will be here, who will have to be looking out for, and what kind of strategies will come to play.
Yeah, so it has been noted that there is a 6-minute maximum to get the 6th member of ZONK into this game and rocking, and we've hit the 4 minutes remaining mark now. So it is going to be very unfortunate, and I personally will be extremely sad if we can't get the 6th play. There he goes! Awesome! So ZONK is ready to rock and roll. Alt 3 is here. We are ready to go here on the desk, and we're finally going to get started on this Busan map.
All right, and in mere moments, we will be descending onto the character select screen and deciding what composition to run on our first King of the Hill map.
King of the Hill. Not a mode that I'm super happy about in general.
No, why is that?
It's so I love its tiebreaker potential. I love seeing the different comps that some teams can come up with, but when you're playing possibly ladder and you don't have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, maybe you're doing a little bit of the ad hoc pickup kind of style, you can get schooled pretty quickly by a team who has what they, know is a solid King of the Hill composition and strategy going for them. I do love learning from that experience, but King of the Hill can be really rough also to get your momentum back. When you lose that first map, your team has to really knuckle down and make sure that they have no mistakes showing for that, what is essentially last effort.
Definitely true. King of the Hill is one of the faster game modes in the game, and seeing a drastic momentum shift, really, you have to bank up so many alts in order to do that. And of course, if you use too many alts, you are going to be at a disadvantage for the next fight.
Yeah, and let's say you commit all those alts, so you're ready for the next fight. You're not, completely out of luck. There's a chance that you can take that next fight, or at the very least, just settle in for the eidetic knowledge that you're going to have to stall at least until you can get that ult percentage, or possibly just stall for point percentage long enough to get into a position where, let's say you lose the point, but now you have the ultimates to take it back.
Definitely. We are looking at a 2-minute countdown here for our teams to be ready. It looks like we are still, despite the 6th member of ZONK being in the lobby, we're waiting for the load to occur. And it looks like we are just now getting a final ready. So we will be moving on to gameplay just shortly. Just now starting the lobby, and we'll be seeing what kind of compositions come out of each team.
And here we go, getting started on Busan, and it's going to be city center to start. Lots of open sight lines, some sick high ground, but really the open nature of the map, coupled with the kind of catwalk overhang cover you get on the point, lends itself to some very interesting compositions.
Absolutely. And looks like we're going to have a little pregame skirmish here. Again, this whole loading issue seems to just be slowing things down a bit, but that is okay. We're going to be able to see a little bit of just fun coming out of each side as we get to pick whoever we want and emo in the loading room. All right, so we do have 30 seconds on the clock here for our compositional changes, and we're going to find out what these teams will be rolling out without the gate.
This is a great opportunity for both teams to not only check out the glorious spawn cosmetics that they have going on here. You can maybe take some time on the DDR machine, maybe go have some fun in the PC bang, or get some karaoke on. I don't know, man. This map has just had a lot of work go into it, and here now we are going to finally see some sick comps, and I am loving the double snipers coming out from Alt 3.
Definitely. Double sniper with a Winston Diva, Mercy, and Lucio to support. Pretty standard as far as a dive with a double sniper. Nothing really too out of the ordinary there. Hopefully we will be able to see some aggression coming out of our red team. It looks like our blue team might be responding with something similar, a Brigitte with Lucio and Zenyatta. Something we've seen quite a few times. I'm not sure how it's going to fare against our double sniper comp, though.
Widowmaker generating some quick percentage, getting some sick shots off, but they're not going to end up getting a kill there. Glizzy, however, is going to find the Zenyatta. That's going to be big source of discord damage and healing gone for ZONK, and Winston almost gets caught out there.
Definitely, and so we are going to have our blue team approaching in slowly onto the point. We have lost the mech. It's really just kind of raining from above here. Mr. Snesbit on Widowmaker just kind of really taking those shots, going uncontested. Finally, we have a monkey jumping on him, but it's a little bit too late, and we will be just sacrificing the life away there.
Yeah, and Winston doing some unfortunate cleanup for ZONK as they press a little bit into spawn there, and that's going to be potentially some dirty staggers onto Whiplash, who is Zenyatta. You know, there's no escape that you have there. You're going to get caught out in the open if you're going to die.
Definitely. 20 seconds after the point capture, and we are just now starting up the reset for the blue side. That is going to be a fairly significant stagger with almost a third of the entire round over already.
Ooh, and looks like Mrs. Nesbit, or Mr. Nesbit, has their sights activated and ready to round and roll, and with a Widowmaker as proficient as they are, that is a bit of a lethal ultimate to drop.
Alright, we are going to see the dragons coming in from our red team, trying to stagger the initiation of our blue. We are going to be taking a position here on a really odd flank here. They're kind of choked in. I'm not sure exactly if that's the best position, but it looks like we are going to be rotating around, but not before getting staggered here. Our red team abusing the position there and just not letting them through.
It opens with a sonic arrow that D-Mex Diva, which is always one of those things. The ability not meant to do a lot of damage is the one that gets the kill. That's just rough times.
Definitely, but we do have 5 ults on the way for our blue team. We might be able to finally breach this choke. Red team did actually use a lot of their ult economy on these last few pushes. Blue is now going to go for a strong dive. Monkey and Diva jumping into the high ground. Brigitte going in with the rally, and a big monkey ult coming in, trying to buy open that space. We're going to be now on the point. However, our red Hanzo arrow is going to come with that Dragon Strike. Transcend is coming in to block it. Space actually is being fought hard here by our blue team. The Transcend is providing just enough sustain. With the Valkyrie also on our red team, it does seem like we're going to have enough firepower in order to retake the point. A blue sound barrier in order to have that last-ditch effort to come through, but it's not going to be enough while our red team does clean up this point.
Utter brutality, the tenacity of Alt 3 on this point, and Mercy getting the res onto the Diva who can get back into her mech was huge, and that's going to make sure that Alt 3 keeps control of the point with 100 zip, taking city center on Busan.
Great gameplay here from our red team, completely choking out the opposing team here, and they just really weren't able to make it through.
That being said, though, there might be a chance for Blue to take advantage of a different type of map, as here we go to Mech Bay. A little bit similar. It has a semi-open point to play with, but that is a situation that changes with those Mech Bay doors going up and down, with a nasty little high ground to dance around with.
Definitely. We are going to see a Diva for... We're going to see a Diva here for Alt 3, and it's going to be pretty interesting. For a moment, we did see a Torbjorn, which actually can be kind of viable here with those Mech Bay doors going up and down. However, we are going to be going in aggressively, speed boost with Lucio. Blue team and red team both fighting here. Our Reinhardt's going head-to-head, and a bunch of damage coming out already. And as I get this overhead view here, we're going to be seeing Whiplash with the pick on Grizzly right out the gate. Very tasty positioning here, but it looks like red team might ultimately be controlling the high ground necessary to get the point.
Yep, it's important to get that map control before you get for point control, but there you go. Alt 3 jumping down, rotating to the point. They don't necessarily have the man advantage, but they're almost able to capture the point.
All right, and we are going to see a courageous dive here from Narrative Herds on the Winston. He did just dive right into the middle of the team. It was punished pretty heavily. Now we're going to see a Shattered. It does manage to catch 2 other members of the team, and resulting in a red team win for this point.
Now Whiplash's Widowmaker choice early on, you probably see them coming out with that, hoping that there was going to be the enemy Mrs. Nesbit Widowmaker to contest with, but unfortunately there wasn't. They started out with the early pick, but they weren't able to capitalize on it, and there they're going to be switching over back to the McCree to get some stun action going.
Definitely. And now look at this choke point. Everyone is just choked right into this room. Our red team is playing extremely aggressively. However, the Earthshatter is going to come out and hit every member of Alt. And wow, Transcend is coming in here to back it up. We are actually not going to see any casualties. In fact, a reversal here with a Graviton and the Reinhardt trade here. A Diva Bomb just to reclaim that mech. And we are going to be pushing the blue team back into the spawn room.
But there it is, Ghost Pepper gets a sneaky little back cap going, just trying to get red team away. Alt 3, get them off that choke. They're even going to make it out alive, so now ZONK has a bit of a chance, a little more breathing room to get back in the action.
Definitely buying just every second that we can, and seconds do matter here in a game as fast as Overwatch.
Oh yes. So now it looks like they're jockeying for position. Alt 3 gonna get caught a little bit off guard by ZONK going down into the background, and Whiplash is gonna open that with a pick onto Lucio. Big kill going in, but that's gonna make a clapped back, and the Kree goes down, but the Shatter goes out, and that's gonna be the end of ZONK's push.
Wow, red team just cleaning up these fights so handily. Very fast fights, very smart ultimate usage going on as well.
Right, unfortunately, I can't say the same for ZONK. Dropping a Diva Bomb, I'm hoping they're going to be going for a switch there. The Diva Bomb there getting into the end, maybe possibly for a swap, not going to result in anything.
Definitely. We do still have 2 ults versus 2 ults and some more on the way for both teams. It is going to be a big sound barrier here trying to contain our blue team in this choke point.
And there it is, Ghost Pepper. Glissy was waiting for them. They knew they were going to try something like this again, so it's a Brigitte v Lucio duel on the point as overtime has commenced.
And that is not really the kind of fight that I want to be taking with a Baby Diva and a Brigitte. As Lucio, that is effectively being a rock in a hard place.
Oh yeah, and Brigitte soloing a point against a Lucio. I think I know who my money's on, and that would have come through as a nice bet.
All right, and so we are going to see the Brigitte play of the game here from Alt 3, our red team, showing an absolutely dominating performance this round.
Oof, look at that play coming out from Glizzy, holding down that left click, getting that sustain, making sure that damage comes out. As long as Brigitte is like this, that's going to be a play that any team would be happy to have.
Definitely. Going in, swinging that rocket flail, just adding on that extra damage. Almost about as much damage as a Winston Tesla coil.
Oof. Yeah, and when a support who can not only swing out that kind of cleave, but also pull out that kind of healing, I can see why she's still a hero whose mechanics are under scrutiny.
You put Brigitte and mechanics in the same sentence, my friend.
Oh crap, I did. My apologies.
All right, so we are going to see Alt 3 here with the Save One Hero, Ban One map, and ZONK will be able to choose the map. Interested to see what comes out. Now, do you think it's... I mean, if you're Alt 3 right now, I'm not really sure they have a whole lot to be afraid of based on the performance of the last map.
Right. One of the options that they honestly could do, they could save their Widowmaker, ban one of the 2 CP maps that doesn't really have good sightlines, say... none of them in the pool actually are really all that bad. They have Hanamura access, they have Horizon Lunar Colony. Maybe they can ban anything other than a control map, but maybe save the Widowmaker, knowing that they might be able to... So, no. I don't even know what to make of that. They're saving Torbjorn and banning Eichenwald.
Well... Man, I honestly am speechless on that. I mean, because think about it, we always see Torbjorn in the spawn room, but it's usually we're just getting baited, right? Save Tor, ban Eichenwald.
So that could be a mental game. If you're gonna throw something out there like save Torbjorn, which, you know, banning Eichenwald, that's a perfectly valid choice, and map bans will last the rest of this this series. So I totally understand where they're coming from. The Torbjorn save and subsequent ban are only going to last for this map. So whatever, rather, ZONK chooses. The Torbjorn save could be interesting. That's going to make ZONK wonder, man, do they really want Torbjorn? Are they going to be some kind of crazy pirate ship? Maybe that means they'll choose something other than an escort map.
I mean, they're playing the same mind game on the enemy team as they are in me. Like, why do they want Torbjorn?
Yeah, if I were a member of ZONK, maybe I'd be thinking right now, I think they've got to be, you know, joshing us a bit. So they are going to resort to the map pool to see what they got. In terms of hero bans, though, I honestly don't know what the most dangerous pick from Alt 3 we saw come out there. I mean, surely Mrs. Nesbitt's Widowmaker was awesome, but there's a lot of good stuff going on that team.
Now, we did see a really strong Brigitte.
Banning Brigitte, it's a solid option as always, as much as it is a solid option these days to pick her.
I mean, she is one of the core members of quite a few meta compositions at this point.
Yeah, she practically goes with almost just about everything except for a super fast, speedy dive. So, and that's just it. They could also go with the Reinhardt. They could also go with the Winston. You know, maybe stop them from pulling off that dive. But then again, as we saw on Mech Bay, they didn't really necessarily need a Winston to go to town.
Definitely, because you can just stack on that cleave damage as long as you have a Reinhardt or a Winston. That's something that honestly is understated. I mean, you're flailing that rocket hammer, and it is going to hit more than one person in many cases, especially if your Reinhardt is going in aggressively on a safe position.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to actually be taking just one moment. One of our players did have to reload their game. We are still deciding on the map. Looks like actually word did just come in. We're going to be going to Hollywood and banning Zenyatta.
So there we go, Hollywood. Not necessarily, and it's actually interesting. Hollywood's one of the maps where I would not be disappointed, surprised, or really all that, you know, perplexed if a Torbjorn did come out, but the ban on the Zen, that's rough times. Any dive without a Zen means they're gonna have to rely on some other method to get that sick, dirty damage boost going on.
All right, so now here's an interesting little thing that just happened here. We saved Torbjorn, we're going to Hollywood, and we're on defense. Alt 3 did choose defense first.
Fascinating, and that honestly makes a lot of sense. Alt 3 choosing to go with the statistical advantage starting on defense, ZONK having to set the pace, Alt 3 getting to follow up behind them. If they can stop ZONK from completing the map at all, they have a guaranteed victory chance on their starting offense. That is to say though, if ZONK can finish the map, then it becomes a game of who can, you know, score the most points. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind everyone as we progress through these matches that there is an MVP poll on the Twitch panel below the stream. Let us know who your favorite player is, who you think is the most valuable, and let your voice be heard.
All right, we are now putting up the ready flags, and we will be going into our next match here on Hollywood.
And there we go. Hollywood. Hollywood. I actually, you know, as far as escort maps, hybrid maps go, I kind of really like Hollywood. You get a lot of different compositions you can run with, plus you get those nice, long, open sight lines that are super beneficial to some of that sniper composition, or maybe even a pharmacy.
Absolutely, and with Miss Nesmith here on Widowmaker, as we did see last match, we could be seeing that come into play this round as well.
Yeah, and point A as well, you get some really nice compositions. With that little cafe there, cafe, you know, in New Orleans they have a place called Cafe Dumont. This place should just be called Cafe Defense. You get that dirty, nasty Orisa set up there. Maybe you get that Bastion, or maybe even a Torbjorn. I don't know. I can't stop thinking about a Torbjorn.
Yeah, why that Torb? I mean, what if they save Torbjorn and and our team Zonk is going through the same agony that we are, and then they don't even pick Torb?
Yeah, I think that'll be a possibility. Again, since Alt 3 coming out on defense first, though, we'll have less of a chance to be debated.
Or maybe it's more, who knows? Now we are going to actually see it right here on the initial flip, Glizzly on Torbjorn, and we are walking out of spawn with it.
Wouldn't that be the best flex, though? Save Torbjorn, assume that everyone will think it's a mind game, and then actually go with Torbjorn. I love it! Because you know when that team gets to that point, if they get there sooner than the 15-second ban on being able to see the enemy's hero comps at that point in time, that perk's going to start popping off, and it's going to be, oh my goodness, they actually went with it.
Yeah, the Torbjorn is here. They're ready, and we are still waiting for the final composition from our attacking team. Gonna be so far a dive looking composition. Now it's actually Reinhardt and Winston with Brigitte and Diva. It's a 3.5 tank, I suppose we could say.
Yeah, 3.5 tank. I think that's a good way to put it.
You know, kind of like May. Brigitte definitely fills that half tank role.
Yeah, half tank, half support, half just cleaver. Ooh, and it looks like they're going to be swinging around the left side. ZONK now in the red, picking the low ride. And there they are, going to be in clear view of that Torbjorn turret.
Of course, the Torbjorn turret very strategically placed on the watchtower here. We are going to see our blue team going in with a massive shatter right out the gate. Less than 30 seconds into the match, Dark is fully charged with that shatter. We are going to get 2 picks here, thanks to the turret as well. Ray Lenny going in with the off-tank power there. Just wow.
Woof. I like the little bit of a clapback from Night Knight, who was able to charge through, grab Dark, and take them out. But I want to emphasize that the Torbjorn turret is not sitting there doing nothing. It was responsible for a direct D-mech onto a D.Va, and just, again, constantly pouring damage down as they were able to stop them. And it doesn't matter what angle ZONK comes in on, that thing is going to be a constant reminder that there is going to be a very, very solid DPS option coming in from them.
Definitely. Now that is constant sustained DPS, not reliant on any player's aim or skill, only the positioning of the turret. It looks like we are going to go around the back alley, but not anymore. We are going to push onto the main, not quite catching anything on that shatter, but we are going to charge in and start taking this position, looking like it's working in the favor, using the massive cleave of the hammer and the flail. However, it does get countered by the molten core from Glizzly, completely just setting that entire corner on fire and melting the enemy team.
They were able to switch the entirety of ZONK into that little teeny tiny corner, and yeah, when you have a molten core out and Glizzy getting the sick hammer kill onto Datnub, that's rough times, Datnub. My heart goes out to you, it really does. And the ZONK has to change up their composition in some way, shape, or form to deal. They, as much as they probably don't want to admit it, I think Glizzy's Torbjorn is giving them more trouble than a meme should.
Alright, well, we are going to be going in again, this time with ultimates, no compositional changes. Now, it's going to be interesting here. The ultimate advantage is currently in blue team's favor, but red team has ultimates online in just a moment. Looks like we're going to engage, starting with the sound barrier. Gets completely countered by Dark Shatter. However, there is a high noon coming out for Mrs. Nesbitt as well. That does clean up to one member of the enemy team while the rest engages in, and the fight is over before it even began.
I really need to draw attention to the fact that the old advantage is so bloody strong coming out from alt 3 right now, and ZONK is doing a great job of not committing too many ults to a fight, but they're reaching the point now where they kind of need to go all in. They need to, at least in some way, shape, or form, force out more than 1 or 2 ultimates from alt 3, or win the fight preemptively before it becomes an issue.
Definitely, and this might be just what they do here. I'm anticipating a Nano Monkey. Now let's see what happens here. We are going to go in initially with Raylini's grab, a nice flank grab there. We are going to drop the Molten Core as well as a Shatter there, and the Molten Core doing too much damage right out of that grab. And again, the fight over before it even begins.
So that's a great opportunity of they were able to force the ults. They had the grabs and they got the Molten Core, but they preemptively went in with the Primal Rage, and also I think a Shatter got tossed out there to maybe no effect. Saving those ults means that you then have such a great advantage on the next point. And yeah, grab Molten Core, that's a quantity of damage that is just utterly obscene.
Now, unfortunately, our red team did use a great deal of their ults on that last push. We do still have a Sound Barrier, Shatter, and Deadeye coming from our blue team as well, and that's going to be a sneaky Shatter. Oh no, we do get 3 members of the red team in there, and the Deadeye to follow up. It's going to be another quick fight.
Wow, a 3.5k on the Deadeye, demeching the D.Va as an option. D.Va gets ripped out of her gremlin suit. Lucio goes down, that's Brigitte. Overtime is done. It's a full hold for ult 3 on Hill Hollywood.
My goodness. Well, you know, speaking of Hollywood, that's about what the traffic on the 101 feels like. You get about,
oh no.
Not even gonna lie, man. That highway, you get stuck. The highway 101 to 405 interchange right here through Hollywood is one of the busiest highway interchanges in the world. And you want to know what it feels like? It feels like walking through this choke point and dying within about 3 seconds.
I'll bet sometimes it even feels like you've been stuck in a grav and then baked alive with a molten core.
Absolutely. Yep, stuck in a grav, baked by a molten core. That is the best analogy I can think of.
What a terrible fate for anyone. And now it's going to be up to ZONK to possibly give back exactly what they just received to Alt 3. This is by no way, shape, or form a guaranteed win for Alt 3, as ZONK has a lot of options for their full hold, which they must pull off if they want to stop another point and map from going to Alt 3.
Now the pressure is on, as our attacking team does only need 33% in order to win this round. It is a little more mentally taxing when you have such a small window to work with compared to 3 points that our defending team originally had, who are now the attackers.
Yep. And here we go. That is going to be ZONK setting up with a very lovely pulled pork defense with a Mercy for that quick res to eliminate the need for someone to run all the way back from spawn, which, as far as maps go, Hollywood not being too terrible, but that res is going to cover a lot of ground.
Pulled pork, it gets me every time then.
Love pulled pork. Love it. I love playing the Orisa. I love playing the Hog. I love every aspect of that combo.
It is a good comp. We are going to see Nerda Hurts here with a little bit of poke damage starting up, just trying to get that ultimate. Looks like juking out that back alley approach and then ultimately going forward. Nice use of that wall for cover. A great hook there and a great follow-up from the team as well. Our blue team now with a one-man advantage. Our red team holding up on the cafe with a bunker-style composition, but not quite enough, as we are just going to kind of walk on top of them with Mrs. Nesbit on the Brigitte. Again, just a very quick fight, and walking through with the melee heavy composition is going to be a 1 round for Alt 10. Or Alt 3, I'm sorry.
It's difficult for both Dive and honestly Goats sometimes, not having as drastic of a DPS burst to handle. So when Hog hooks a Hog, what you want to do is make sure that you keep Hog from healing and everyone on the team focuses him, and that's exactly what they did. They anti-naded him, they dropped him with a stun, and everyone on the team opened that fight with a pick onto the Hog, a huge source of damage and hooking that ZONK very desperately needed to fight that off.
Definitely. Now it is 2-0 in Alt's favor here. So we are going to have to see some moves coming out from ZONK if we have hopes of staying in this match.
Yeah, and again, Alt 3 saving the Torbjorn for their defense. Turns out that was not a mean choice. They went with it, they rocked it, and they took it home really effectively. Whatever Alt 3 comes out with for their save, I think ZONK needs to make sure that they pay attention to that very closely. Pick a ban that, hopefully eliminates a hero that would complement that save, and then really go to town on their next map, which is their match point. And if they lose it, Alt 3 will take this series and continue on through the loser's bracket.
Absolutely. Tensions are high here for ZONK, as we are going to be choosing which hero, A3 will be choosing which hero to save and which map to ban. ZONK will be choosing the next map.
Oof. And there it is, the Lucio save comes out. Very interesting. Knowing that there cannot be the map they're going to ban, they are going to ban Tower.
Lijiang Tower.
Lijiang Tower. Like, what map's called Tower? So they'll save Lucio and ban the Tower, which means that ZONK is going to have to choose a map that is literally anything other than Lijiang Tower and the earlier banned Eichenwald. But whatever happens, Alt 3 is going to have a Lucio. That means they're going to be able to run all manner of dives and Goatsy 3-3 comps and whatnot.
Yes, Lucio, honestly a staple of so many of the compositions that we've seen throughout this tournament.
Yep. So they've saved the Lucio, they've banned the Lijiang Tower. Super curious again, what's ZONK gonna come out with? Is it going to be a ban on, let's say, Reinhardt or Brigitte or Zarya, something that almost always you're gonna see with a Lucio?
At this point, if I was ZONK, I might actually legitimately say ban Brigitte.
Yeah, Brigitte has just been shown, and again, Alt 3 even used it on just about every opportunity they could. The stun potential, the damage potential, the sustain, even just having that little shield there to block a shatter. Ridiculous.
Definitely. If so many options do become unlocked through her kit, a very powerful kit. Something that has definitely seen controversy throughout the community, although personally I think she's in a decent place, especially nowadays, as Brigitte is susceptible to focus fire.
Yeah, she has that situation, you know, being the kit that does it all. Why not take her out first? One of the greatest hook targets, one of the greatest pull targets. Ugh.
Definitely. However, her major glaring weakness, no range.
Oof, oof. Ooh, and there it is. They're going to ban Mei, and they're going to go to Hanamura. There it is. I love seeing it. A hero band and a map pick that combines the two so perfectly into one strategy. ZONK clearly looking forward to being able to use a Mei on their full hold while they try to bust through Hanamura on offense that Alt3 will probably choose to defend first.
Definitely. Now, we do still have the save on Lucio, which can be a counter to most Mei shenanigans. It is ZONK actually going to be subbing out one of their players as well, so we will be seeing who comes in just a moment.
And there we go. Alt3 is going to remain on defense. They will not have a Mei, but as noted, they will have a Lucio. So for their defense, ZONK is going to be able to, despite the entire repertoire of shields Alt3 will have at their disposal, boost through that choke without any fear at all of getting Mei-walled.
Alrighty here, and we are now readying up. Now, I missed it. Who got subbed out?
I'm actually not sure. We have Geronimo coming in now. It's Ghost Pepper, Datnub, Night Knight, Mithrilium.
And Whiplash. I think it was, I want to say it was Night Knight.
Yes, Night Knight is no Night Knight. We got our Night Knight. We don't have anything in the chat either to give us any hints, so for now we're gonna have to go ripping into the fight.
All right, here we are.
Nerd of Hertz.
There it is. Okay, we are now readied up and descending onto Hanamura. Beautiful map, honestly. Not one of my favorite. It's honestly one of my least favorite maps in the game. Just because point B, it's really hard to coordinate that high ground assault. But other than that, I mean, this is the map that I like to do all of my practice and training on when I want to just 1v1 with my friends in a custom game, that kind of stuff. This is the map that I go to.
Yeah. The other thing that I also love seeing with Hanamura is it tends to be the subject of a lot of the holiday and event reskinnings for the entirety of the map. Specifically, some of their winter stuff that comes out is just really nice to look at, which is, you know, always pleasant when you're struggling so futilely on that point B.
Definitely. Now we are going to be seeing in about 20 seconds here what our defending team is going to come out the gate with. Alt on defense here, and Mei is banned. I am curious to see what is going to happen here. Mei is a very common defense strategy.
Yeah. Will we see some Symmetra action? Will we see some just good old-fashioned goats? I ain't got no idea, but Alt3 is... There it is. Alt3 is actually just going to be going with a very nice 3-3 featuring Roadhog.
All right, so that is going to be Roadhog, Zarya, and Reinhardt, along with Brigitte, Zenyatta, and Lucio. Looks like our attacking team, ZONK, will be running a Reinhardt, Zarya, along with 3 supports of their own, and a Sombra as their primary DPS.
Yep. And there it is. There's that Brigitte. Ryelny showing that, look, it almost doesn't matter what comp you're playing. No Mei, that's fine. On defense, I got a big old shield right here to stop you in your tracks.
And interesting, take a look at this. We have Dark looking for another sneaky play.
Oof, and they get a good solid 22% ult charge on their Fire Strike, and they're going to have another shot at it. Uh-oh.
Geronimo knows something is wrong. All right, so we are going to go in. The sneaky flank working out excellently for Alt3's favor here. They just speed right out of that restaurant with the health kit and just send right onto our red team. Almost like they barely saw it coming. We did see the scout here from Geronimo, but they just weren't able to react in time. And they're going to set up yet another sneaky play.
So it's one thing that I super like seeing, and I'll bet the Overwatch developers super like seeing it as well. These maps have so many intricate points built into them, so why not use them? Here they are, but there it is. They have that the Sombra out there. Geronimo knows where the team is, and they're going to be relaying that to their team. And I think since they haven't been seen so long, that Alt3 knew that. That's why they rotated the way they did and started opening the fight with the picks that they could get.
Absolutely. They did respond very well with that rotation and immediately 2 picks. There's a theme going on for this whole match. The fights are taken in these tiny chokes with all 3 being the aggressors. And that has been the theme of every single team fight that has happened throughout this entire best of 5, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the ult 3 situation coming in that ZONK has to deal with is pretty rough. The ult advantage has never gone in ZONK's favor, but here we have ZONK coming online with a solid set of ultimates. If they could force that shatter out, maybe get, and more importantly almost, get that trans, they have a really solid shot at point A, especially with Sombra needing to get some good solid EMP charge.
Definitely, but look at this, we're taking yet another sneaky, unpredictable position. Now, our red team is going to go all the way around, and what's going to happen here? Our blue team is going to engage them from behind. Nice block on that shatter here from Dark, and it ultimately ends up with a trade. Stringy Place going through, and with the shatter of his own, they are going to have Reinhardt's colliding. Transcendence from Whiplash keeping his team alive throughout all of the chaos. We are going to see Brigitte's ult coming out to add just that extra sustain. Zarya ult from Mismess, but not quite catching anything, and we are now going to start seeing picks coming from our red team. Reinhardt moving in with a nice charge. A good hack on the Lucio might result in a kill there. However, our red team is cleaning up this fight, and we are going to see that win coming in for ZONK.
ZONK got caught with their pants down with that shatter fight, and the Rhines charging in, you think they were doing some mirror awesomeness, but there it was. ZONK able to recover very nicely, commit only the ults that they needed, and look at that. Every single ult was committed from ult 3. Meanwhile, there is a huge snowball coming in from ZONK.
Absolutely. A well-placed EMP could be just the thing we need in order to finish this fight. Now, we're not sure if Geronimo is going to go EMP the Zen for the guaranteed kill, or if we're going to... Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go in. The EMP is not going to be the starter. We are going to open up with a beat instead. That is a 6-man hack. With that EMP, this should be a done fight. Zen does go down first. The shield damage stripped away from the EMP. Sound barrier keeping everybody alive. There is going to be a shatter coming out here from Nighty Night, and that is going to be a cleaned up fight here for our red team.
Absolutely beautiful. I don't know what ZONK did in between maps to psych themselves up for that, but that is exactly the kind of performance you want to see on I almost said Lucio, on Hanamura, but Lucio also doing some great work, throwing out some sick awesomeness, and it looks like ZONK is going to possibly pick up the second tick. It's going to be difficult to say. The picks are still coming in left and right.
Yeah, this fight definitely not over yet. Our blue team coming in with some great support ults and turning this fight around. They do have the spawn advantage, and they are going to be able to push all 3 out, or I'm sorry, they are going to be able to push ZONK away, all 3 with the phenomenal defense.
Yeah, that's a nasty situation. Hanamura's spawn advantage just really ridiculous, and their ult 3 was able to actually build up a little more of that ult advantage. Whiplash being the only one, Mithrilium also coming up behind to support ult. EMP about to come online, though. This could be a nice little preemptive fight if they lead with that.
Definitely. Shutting down that Zarya and that Graviton is going to be paramount in winning this next fight. Now, we are getting spy checked here. Relini doing her due diligence and making sure that Sombra stays away. We don't want to have an EMP fall at the wrong time for our blue team. Now, we do have Sombra fighting the D.Va on point while the rest of the team is fighting on the high ground choke. Blue team lighting up the kill feed here and pushing out ZONK on that high ground.
Yeah, it's, again, the fight that ZONK was going for there might have been a bit of the dry push. They're well positioned to reset hard. Mithrilium and Zenyatta jumping right off. Unfortunately, Whiplash did commit the trans to that fight. A little nasty, but with the ults coming online for both teams, we still have that EMP, and with that Night shatter, it could be Night for all 3 if they play their cards right.
Nice little wordplay there, and absolutely, you are correct there. We do have 2 tank ults coming up for our blue team. However, with them stacked up for ZONK, this is going to be definitely an action-packed fight, and we are engaging here with the speed boost. Start going in with the dive, getting countered by the speed boost. Blue team surrounding the red team, but they do get EMP'd. This is going to be actually the red Zen dying first, which is surprising, and we are going to actually be rewarded with a Transcendence here that's going to keep our ult 3 alive throughout this push. They are going to be able to push our red team away from the point yet again.
Yeah, that's a grody situation to be in. The shatter did not come out in time to take advantage of the EMP, which means the unshattered Zarya was able to get bubble on one of the shatteries, so to speak. Not a lot of picks coming out from ZONK, and ult 3 was able to maintain whatever they had in terms of spawn advantage and ult advantage. and the fight is now looking rather grim for ZONK, who must do a dry push and get some good ults.
Definitely. And we are still sitting on 2 tank ults, a 3rd tank ult on the way, and a half tank ult on the way as well. We are looking at the hack here on D.Va with Geronimo trying to get some of that preemptive ult charge. We are going to see yet another fight on this high ground choke point. However, our blue team positions slightly better this time. We are going to see the D.Va Met come out and get shielded by 3 different shields there. Lunar Yu with the nice pick on his counterpart Whiplash. We are going to see a bit of fighting here on the high ground. No ults have come out yet. Oh, we do have the rally. Now a D.Va bomb as well coming out for our blue team. Grizzly going in with a nice pick on that. Now our red team is going to try to capture the point here, but with a material disadvantage. This ult should be the last thing that we need, and a bit of a questionable Sombra ult there from Geronimo, as blue team is going to be able to clean up the fight from a major advantage.
So the decision there, when Gremlin D.Va had tossed her D.Va bomb out, didn't get anything, they started to run away to get back in their mech and they got hacked. ZONK took that as the advantage to try and get rid of the Gremlin D.Va, but unfortunately they weren't able to grab it. Unfortunately, also, we are going to see a pause as some form of technical difficulty is about to hit us. And it looks like there's going to be a disconnect from Dark on Alt 3.
And it's like we said earlier, those technical difficulties always coming up at the worst possible times. That is going to unfortunately be all charge loss from our main tank player on Alt 3.
Oof. And yeah, with a bad internet connection comes not a lot of responsibility, just a lot of lost ult charge. The ZONK, on the other hand, all 6 members of their team, knock on wood for their internet connections, looking pretty fly. Datnub about to have a grab with barriers and shatter and a rally on the way. This next fight from ZONK, with 54 seconds left on the clock, could be what they need to finish this map out.
Absolutely. And it looks like the EMP should be in time for the next Lucio ult as well from Alt 3. Could be a big counterplay coming out for a potential stall, or just the final blow that's necessary in order to finally capture that point.
Yeah. And with Dark gonna have to come back in there with the Reinhardt at 0% charge. I don't know. That could be the situation where they might be swinging away a little more aggressively than usual. Could be the big opportunity for Night Knight to slip that shatter in behind a drop shield.
Definitely. We will just have to wait and see. We are waiting for Dark to come back here, and we are on a timer as well. If he's not back in time, Alt 3 will be forced to forfeit the match.
Yes, and there's not a lot of time left on the clock, and we would definitely hate to see that. So for now, we shall hope again some more to whatever telecom ISP that Dark has, that they come through and get him back in this game.
Alrighty, we are going to just be taking this brief hiatus for just a moment, and that's okay though. Hey, so what's been your favorite set so far that you've seen in this weekend's matches?
Well, I super like the strategies that are coming out here. I'm definitely learning a lot. Honestly, the last Busan match we saw, where they took it to all 3 maps, that was pretty filthy.
Yeah, definitely. And that was when we saw all of that Reaper play as well too.
Oh yeah.
Now it looks like Dark is back here. Relini giving the signal that we are ready, and we should be seeing this match resume in just a moment.
And it looks like both teams are giving the signal that they are ready to go. And we are going to be coming back into it. Love it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, guys. All right, so we are going to be reapproaching here on the main, and right out of the pause, we are going to see Geronimo unfortunately get picked there with only 45 seconds on the clock for this attack. Now, we are still banking up ults, and our red team ZONK is still in a great position to take this next point. However, the more time goes on is the more ultimate that will be in the blue team bank.
And very interestingly, Dark now switching over to the Winston, going for some little rapid high ground, low ground maneuverability and some nice bubbly shields to get back into the action, but also that Tesla coil ripping right through everything.
All right, and we are going to engage with a red team speed boost here and a rally to follow up. No picks out yet, but 99 is close to falling in. There he goes, Zenyatta doing his due diligence with the Orb of Destruction and the Orb of Discord. We are going to see the sound barrier coming out from both sides, and no more EMP to counter. We do see a Reaper instead for Geronimo. Now we are going to see the blue team rally coming out instead, and it's now do or die for our blue and red team in order to fight this fight. Blue does have the spawn advantage as they are the defending team. We do have a high energy Zarya going in and a big shatter coming in for our red team. Nighty Night managing to capture 3 of those members. We are going to still see the spell coming out from Relini and Dark though, however, and Nighty Night able to... What?
How did that even happen? Where did he go?
He didn't die somehow, so we're going to see Relini with the really nice matrix there on Geronimo's ult. Blue team still coming out with the stall. Nighty Night unfortunately giving his life for that Diva Bomb. The material disadvantage is showing, however, we are now seeing more ults coming out for our red team, and they're getting kills faster than our blue. We are going to see a Primal Rage come out and continue to stall. Lucio backing up as well. Diva is still in her mech, and this fight is still for anybody. A grab coming out for our blue, but a parent countered by a sound barrier and a follow-up red team ult as well. This overtime is absolutely insane with the spawn advantage. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. We are seeing Hammond over here swinging away. Red team actually coming back with the numbers advantage despite having the spawn disadvantage, and they managed to completely clutch out that fight.
Wow. I don't know what y'all are doing in the Twitch panel down there voting for your MVP, but on that fight on Hanamura, my MVP vote would absolutely go to Night Night. Like, what even was that? He sacrificed his life to get the Diva Bomb away from the point, which could have been clutch. Maybe not the best move available, but a team wipe there would have been absolutely disastrous. Then he comes back in and does even more work to get that point and finishing out the map for ZONK.
That was absolutely crazy. Against all odds, red team actually managed to clutch that after getting, to be fair, kind of stomped throughout this entire set. They are showing a very strong comeback at this time.
Yeah, ZONK, they finished the map, they got no time remaining, so in order to prevent a complete tie, they do have to, if they want to win the map, stop Alt 3 at some point during this map. No pun intended, they either pull off the full hold on point A, or they pull it off again on point B. Alt 3, on the other hand, they must complete the map and then mount another attack. And if they finish the map in overtime with no time remaining, it'll just be a flat tie for both teams.
Definitely, and we do have Busan open as a tiebreaker or another King of the Hill map such as Ilios, just in case we do end up in that draw scenario.
Yep. Meanwhile, the defense coming out from ZONK, looking pretty familiar. They're running a double tank trip support with Sombra there to get some clutch hacks.
Alrighty, and a fairly standard composition coming here from our red team as well. Now we are going to be coming in aggressively with the speed boost, Stark swinging away right out the gate, and Glizzly right behind as the faithful squire Brigitte. Now we are going to go right in with yet another speed boost, going with a stun right away, and we are engaging Zenyatta with great aim here from Lunar. You've really been actually lighting up that kill feed, and we are going to continue to aggress here onto the point. A nice hack there is going to actually cancel the burst healing from Brigitte, but it's not enough as our blue team is going to just kind of walk onto this point.
Oof. The picks were opening up pretty clearly. Despite the hack onto Glizzy, they're going to survive long enough to, again, keep that sustain going, keep that rocket mace going, and Alt 3, again, with way too much time in the bank for ZONK to be comfortable with, takes point A, and now here they come on point B.
All right, and because of the decisive victory on point A, we are going to be seeing an ultimate advantage for Alt 3 here. They're going in no holds barred, complete aggression. Now they are actually going to hold back a little bit. They decided maybe that wasn't a favorable position, but there it is. They are going to get the initial pick on that Reinhardt. It is going to get rezzed actually by Ghost Pepper. Great res there, but we're going in here Glizzly with the rally. Kill feed looking even right now.
Yeah, really a dirty fight on the point, but it looks like ZONK isn't going to be able to maintain their advantage despite Geronimo on that Reaper with that incredible sustain with damage coming out also. And so that's going to be 2 ticks now for some really dirty push by Alt 3. And there's the trance coming out to keep that point alive for ZONK.
All right, we do have 4 more members of the red team coming in to escort as well. An excellent stall here in Whiplash. However, we are going to see 2 tank calls come out as 3 tank calls come out, and that is going to be a quick capture, a Graviton, Earthshatter, and Diva Bomb to finish the deal.
Oof, and there it is, Hanamura going right over to Alt 3. That's another map in the bank, and it is not looking good for ZONK. Something has to change for this one to come out.
Initiating match.
Huh? comp rules may not have been necessarily in effect for this, as I think the map may have reverted to a different set of rule sets.
Initiating match. Never heard Athena say that. That's interesting. Yeah, that should have been. No, they have to capture 33% here, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we're
Me
just
and my
zoning out, man.
fat mouth. My brain. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna blame Alt 3 for that one. They came onto Hanamura so quickly, I didn't really have time to process it. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna see now, ZONK has to now mount a even nastier full hold. They are gonna have to keep point A from falling past the first tick, and it looks like they are setting up accordingly to do that with a pulled pork tank combo, a Junkrat, and a Bastion for the defense.
But remember, we saved Lucio, and that has really been coming into play here. We have been seeing a whole lot of aggression coming out with that speed boost.
Yeah, Alt 3 being able to have a speed boost here, that's clutch. They're going to be able to, hopefully for Alt 3, get right past the fire line of that Bastion. Meanwhile, ZONK is going to be looking to keep them in that fire line as long as possible.
All right, and that is a bunker there on the high ground. Mega. Blue team taking it nice and easy, nice and slow. They have 6 minutes on the clock to capture 33%. They're not in a rush here. They can plan out their moves. Lunar, you might be getting caught out there. Unfortunately, didn't quite follow with the team. We are going to be forced to reset. Our blue team taking cover there.
Possibly one of the most popular positions for Bastion and Orisa to set up is right here on this high ground. ZONK is in a fantastic position to address almost every single entrance onto the Hanamura point.
And our blue team very smartly just holding tight, waiting for their Zenyatta. We did see Dark go over there, ready to escort and shield them through the Bastion. There we go, and we're going to get that speed. Really great team support there. We do have a Roadhog trying to invade. However, Lunar, you managing to get that pick on Junkrat, so there is no more res for this fight. The next 30 seconds. Our blue team rotating on the high ground as a single unit in order to flank the Bastion and be out of the sight line. However, taking a little bit of damage. They are now going to start to take control of the point. Red team descending on them. They aren't able to actually get a favorable position because they do have to siege in and out with that Bastion, and our blue team is able to just use their firepower and their superior positioning to win this match.
Yeah, I may have spoken a little too soon, but the result is the same. Alt 3 is going to take Hanamura from the very brittle clutches of ZONK, who put up a fantastic defense. Ultimately, just too much time on the clock and not enough to do about it. And that's going to be Alt 3 moving on through the losers bracket, through the Overwatch Watchers tournament.
It was a definitely valiant, excellent effort here for our red team, trying to make that comeback. It was looking promising after that dominating run on the last Hanamura attack. However, not quite enough, and we are going to see a victory here for Alt 3. Congratulations. Guys, hey, just remember, you did look for that MVP, right? And cast your vote on the bottom panel there. We will be tabulating your votes and announcing the MVP shortly. And also, in just a moment, we will be having one of the members of the winning team here for an interview, so stick around.
Absolutely, you still have a chance, maybe less to vote, so make sure you click that MVP button now while you still can. Meanwhile, again, don't forget to stay tuned for that post-match interview.
All right, guys, so it looks like we are going to have Stringy in here. Stringy, how about you say hello?
Hello.
How you doing? All right, well, glad to have you here. Congratulations on your victory. Now, the very first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about what the heck just happened there, what were you guys thinking when you saved Torb?
Well, that was up to Glizzy, to be honest. He said that he was going to play Torb because his controller ran out of batteries. I don't know.
Because we were trying to commentate it, and we were really deep diving on an analysis on this. We were saying, is this a mind game? Are we getting trolled?
It's his like signature hero. You're gonna see it a lot more.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Actually, that is valuable information. We will be looking out for Glizzy on Torb then. Now, you guys had an absolutely dominating performance. Was there ever a point where you felt like you didn't have control of the match?
Yeah, I feel on Hanamura's second defense, we after Dark DC'd and we lost Primal. We felt that we were kind of not doing so good in the ult economy, and yeah, that was it. That was iffy.
Yeah, and you guys did manage to ultimately pull it through. It was a really clutch hold from ZONK, managing to actually break through on that final attack, even despite having the spawn disadvantage. But you guys still managed to pull it through here with a really impressive aggression here, and you guys just really do play super aggressively and move as a unit. How long has your team been together?
For a long time. I've been here since I guess like 6 months. I've been, I guess, the last person to join, but everyone else has been here probably for like at least a year, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a long time in terms of like Overwatch team years. Absolutely. Well, you guys, this is a well-deserved win. Really, congratulations. Is there anything else that you wanted to say to the stream?
No, not really.
All right, well, cool, man. Thanks for coming in, Stringy. Congratulations again on your win. Congratulations to all three. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for coming in.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, and we are going to be tabulating the results for MVP as well. Should be getting word on that in just a moment.
All right, so thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This has been 3.007. I am 3.007 at Twitter and Twitch. And also, we have Glizzy named as the MVP. To honestly, can't really blame them at all.
Yeah, not one bit. Glizzy, well deserved. And this is Callisti. We will be casting the next match here in just about an hour, I believe. So make sure you tune in.
Thanks for stopping by.